Human Rights and Accountability Network. Our director, Mr. Chuekon Franklin Song, is unavoidably absent. And I was asked to make this presentation on behalf of the center. I'll just go straight because I have very limited time to highlight our inputs. Into the 2026 appropriation bill. First issue we observed is on the Akwa Ibom Bulk Purchase Agency. The chairman of NLC had spoken on it. We want to draw the attention of the government of the state to the conflicting functions of the Bulk Purchase Agency and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Would like a streamlining so that we don't end up duplicating functions, especially as we've seen that up to 8.3 billion will be spent on recurrent expenditure in that agency, and up to 3.6 billion will be spent on capital expenditure. If the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs...
Sorry. Please, can we have one house, please? Can we have one house, please? Someone is speaking. Can we have one house, please? Please regulate people coming into the hall. Can we have one house, please? This is still the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly.
So if the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs can perform the functions of that agency, we don't think it would, we think it would save cost to not create fund that agency to that extent. We also observed that there is a mention of Akwa Ibom State College of Education, and we would like to remind the state government and this assembly that the bill to turn that college to a university had been assented to by the governor, and therefore Akwa Ibom State College of Education has ceased to exist by law. And so that should be that correction should be effected. The State Environmental Protection and Waste Management Agency has a whopping allocation of 6.4 billion for recurrent expenditure and 7.5 billion for capital expenditure. We are observing as a center that the agency in 2023, 2024, 2025 failed to live up to its statutory responsibility of protecting the environment and ensuring timely evacuation of waste. And so we are inviting the House Committee on Environment to carry out regular legislative oversight of that agency, especially because we're spending a lot on it. We also saw a provision on the Akwa Ibom State Library Board, allocated up to 115 million naira, we would like we would like to know. We've seen that the building that houses that library was built and stocked up to half a century ago by the then military administration in the defunct southeastern state. The center notes that the building and its facilities are begging for a complete overhaul. And the center notes that we would like the state assembly, as we don't know the breakdown of that budget, but we hope that something will be done about that. We've also seen the Akwa Ibom State Library Enhancement Agency. Chran'S observes that Akwa Ibom State Library Enhancement Agency allocated up to 209 million as recurrent expenditure and up to 700 million as capital expenditure. Was established 2 decades ago and has since ceased to carry out its statutory functions in the state. Chran'S notes that the functions of the agency include, but not limited to, poverty alleviation and welfare support to the vulnerable people in the state, organizing programs that help our youth gain employable skills, and supporting financially disadvantaged women, partnership with NGOs to deliver social intervention programs, distributing starter parts, equipment grants, and organizing vocational training programs such as tailoring, ICT, catering, crafts, etc. Chran'S calls for this scrapping of that agency, while its officials and staff can be redeployed to other relevant agencies. I'm talking about the Akwa Ibom State Life Enhancement Agency. Akwa Ibom State Roads and Other Infrastructure Maintenance Agency. We've had renewed calls recently for intervention on the deploring states of our roads with the potholes emerging. The governor has spoken to this severally. We are noting that agency, which is responsible for maintaining our roads, has an allocation, a recurrent allocation of 885 million naira, and has a capital allocation of up to 700 million naira. Our investigation reveals that the agency appears to have outlived its statutory responsibilities in the state. And we observe the inundation of potholes on streets and roads of Akwa Ibom State, including Uyo Metropolis. We are observing the lack of functional street lights on our major streets and roads. And we are disturbed that the governor's directive that all potholes on the streets be cleared has not been implemented by either the agency or the Ministry of Works. We wish to invite the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly Committee on Works to carry out regular oversight to ascertain the health of the agency and the current situation of roads in Akwa Ibom State. We've also seen some allocations to Akwa Ibom State Rural Access Roads Agency, up to 75 million naira in recurrent and up to 1 billion naira in capital expenditure. We would like to draw attention to a project that was carried out by that agency, Road, which has been abandoned at Ikorekanya Asuna in Etina local government area. The center urges the agency to return to the drawing board to ensure its impact is felt in our rural communities. Okay, so please,
you can round up, you can hand over your memoranda to the committee.
Okay.
Let's conclude. Thank you.
Well, Chran'S commends the industry and painstaking attention to detail invested in the preparation, production, and legislative scrutiny of the 2026 appropriation bill. We appreciate the Speaker, the leadership and members of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly for the investigation, for the invitation to this public hearing, believing that our submission will be incorporated into the final budget document in the interest of the great people of Akwa Ibom State. We've submitted a copy there, and we will do a press conference later to further push this inputs to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. When you're doing the press conference, invite us.